Oh boy, we got some Sega drama. So I don't know if you guys heard the news, but there's been this weird report from a former Sega employee. Not just any employee, not the janitor, like some people suggest with some of the Sonic leaks, but the former vice president just came out and had some words for Yuji Naka, and he also talked about a future Sonic remake, and it really set me off. It really has me thinking about all the possibilities, the endless possibilities of what could be. And for those of you just watching for the first time, this is my second channel. This is way more informal. We just yap about whatever. It could be Sonic related, could be life related, doesn't matter. But, you know, it's not a breaking news video. We're just going to talk about this because it's been kind of years in the making, some of my thoughts on this. So first, let's read the article, and then we'll get into our thoughts. We'll just play some Sonic games and discuss. Here's the article. It says, the most miserable person I've ever worked with. This former Sega executive has a dim view of Yuji Naka. If you don't know who this is the former head of Sonic Team, one of the original programmers for the Sonic the Hedgehog games. So former Sega of America vice president. So that's who's going off right now. Of entertainment marketing, Mike Fisher has given a new interview to Sega 16. And he talks a lot about Yuji Naka. So he's not happy with him. He says, I was there for the birth of Sonic the Hedgehog, and when the memo came out, they said to every employee, we want you to come up with a new Mario Killer mascot character. We want everyone to come up with an idea, and I watched him pick the winners, and I watched Yuji Naka steal credit for it. He also adds that he's been very keen to ensure that Naoto Oshima got his credit for creating Sonic. So he said, I saw Naka at one point get up on stage and receive a Lifetime Achievement Award for creating Sonic the Hedgehog. I saw him give an interview where he talked about why he decided to make Sonic Blue. And as you know, he wasn't responsible for any of that. That was all Naoto Oshima, and Oshima-san is one of the most wonderful, kind-hearted people you'll ever meet in your life. The only reason that I agreed to talk to the guy who wrote Console Wars was because I wanted to set the record straight, and I'm really proud that is now on record. He was so malign in trying to rewrite history. You know that Oshima-san worked on Blinks the Cat. When we had the Xbox One debut, he was there, and Naka-san was invited and refused to sit in the same row as Oshima because he accused Oshima of trying to steal his credit. He also said he's literally the most miserable person I've ever worked with in games or anything else in my life, just a horrible human being, and you can quote me on that. He adds, as you know, he's also a convicted felon. Oh my, he's... All right, so they clearly have beef with each other. I'm not here to even get into that. Clearly, this guy doesn't like him, but some other things that he said in this very interview were really interesting, and one of which is about a remake of a potential upcoming Sonic game. Here's the other thing that he said. So he said that a Sonic CD remake, Sega 16-bit or Sega 16 published an interview with the former vice president of Sega of America, Mike Fisher, where he made a couple of surprising statements. He said he has heard that they are remaking Sonic CD, but provided no other details regarding the statement. This should only be considered a rumor at the moment. And he also, so they also go into the Yuji Naka stuff. He also said that I've heard so what he said specifically was, I've heard they're remaking Sonic CD, which would be wonderful. That was my favorite Sonic game. There was another thing in the interview too, where he said Sonic Mania was the best game that they ever made. So again, he threw crazy major shade at Yuji Naka, one of the original Sonic team members, and he said that they're dropping a Sonic CD remake. I don't really want to get into the validity of whether or not that this is true. Like, oh my God, Sonic CD remake confirmed. Because here's the thing with a lot of these interviews, they get misconstrued a lot. I don't really know what the context of the interview was or who did it. I'm not really too familiar with the source. So there's a good chance that this could be misconstrued. And it's kind of interesting, too, because Sonic CD has received several, I guess, updated versions over the years. Let's talk about the most recent ones. We had the Christian Whitehead version that was made for phones, which was, obviously pretty good. And then we also, I'm playing Sonic Origins right now. We had Sonic Origins, which, I don't know, if they classify these as remakes? I think they are. I don't know if they're ports, remakes, remasters. I want to believe that they remade this in a different engine, though. That's why there is some of the issues that there is with this game. I'm trying to find the generators right now. I'm kind of playing sloppily while trying to commentate. But to get to the point, it would be kind of interesting that they're coming out with a Sonic CD remake. I gotta say, I've been playing this game a lot, so I do hope that this is true. I've really started to come around in CD. I'm starting to believe, I fear that CD is a masterpiece. Like, it may be just one of the best classic Sonic games. I'm starting to really... in terms of the level design of this game, it's so unique, and there's just so much that you can do with it. It's if you don't understand it, it can be... If you play this game like it's Sonic 2, it can be kind of messy. right? If you play this game like Sonic 2 or Sonic 3, and you play this with like the time attack mentality, you might be like, what the hell's going on? It's like this chaotic cluster, almost a mess. But once you really get it, and once you really just realize like kind of the moveset and how you can manipulate Sonic's movement based off of the level design. And also the biggest thing I would say is probably hunting the generators. It really opens everything up. Okay, so I have the time travel thing. Oh no, did I lose it yet? No, I didn't. Okay, keep going. No, I lost it. Anyways, so this game has a lot going for it with the vertical level design too. I just feel like well, I guess we'll get into this in a little bit. We'll talk about this after, but I want to talk about the interesting timing of these rumors too, because Sonic Movie 4 is coming out. So what better way to reintroduce Sonic CD into the public consciousness than to do a Sonic CD remake, you know? Like, Metal Sonic's going to be in the movie, Amy's going to be in the movie. I don't know where he heard this from. Maybe it's true that he did hear this. I mean, again, he hasn't worked at the company for such a long time. It could just be a miscommunication, mistranslation, whatever. Oh my god, yes, we got to the future. Did you see how awesome that flow was there, by the way? But the interesting timing of potentially reintroducing a CD remake is the fact that it aligns with the movie. And the fact that I do think that this is one of the best Sonic games ever made. Like, for example, look at this. Like, you see this little slope right here? How can we attack this? Do a little thing to go up there. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many ways to get creative with the levels in this game than I think any other classic Sonic game. Like, this is the only classic Sonic game where I'll go back and forth and actually try to explore and get lost in it, like almost immersed. But it's kind of interesting that they're doing this remake given the timing. And I think that it's hard to say what they would do because we already got those 2 remakes. So how would they handle it? Would it be... Could they possibly do a Superstars or like a 3D, 2D classic Sonic game similar to Sonic 4? Similar to, I mean, speaking of Sonic 4, that game has some CD elements, right? With obviously Metal Sonic and Stardust Speedway. But could they go, and who would say no to this, right? Like, who would be the one that is not down for this? Could they go the route of doing Superstars or like Generation style 3D classic Sonic, remaking a classic Sonic game? I made a tweet about this a couple years ago, and a lot of people were upset about this, saying, no, absolutely not. Like, classic Sonic purists. And I understand why you may not, you know, why some people reflexively would say that that's bad. But I do think that this game is very accessible. The original version is very much, I mean, preserved, right? You have an upscaled way to play it. You know, you have kind of like the HD resolution version to play with Origins. And say what you want about Origins. I know a lot of people hate on Origins because, yeah, there's better alternatives, like on PC made by fans, which is kind of interesting to say the least. But for the most part, I think that this game certainly satisfies the masses. Like, I don't think anyone is too upset with some of the change. Like, the average person's not going to notice some of the things that are missing or lack thereof. Now, that's not to excuse the company and say that they couldn't have done better and that the fans don't deserve better polish and quality of life stuff. But I think this version of the game is more than acceptable. Or Sonic Origins. This version of the game, for many people, is enough. So, and you also have the anniversary mode, which, yes, could use a little bit of work, but I think the original CD, the original vibes of the game is largely preserved. So there's only so much that you could have done with it. I mean, we've done pretty much everything that can possibly be done with this version of the game by giving an official widescreen version. Now I think at this point, if you're going to remake any classic Sonic games, you're probably going to have to do something that's a little bit newer, that kind of brings more people to the table. So I think a 3D 2.5D Superstar style game, and it doesn't have to necessarily be Superstars art style, it doesn't have to be the cute little classic Sonic models. You could always do, like, put maybe a modern looking Sonic or a redesigned classic Sonic in there. I think the big thing would just be having those 3D graphics to bring new people to the table. So it's kind of interesting, like I said, given the timing. I feel like it's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't know if, again, this is misinterpreted. Like, maybe he's talking about maybe this was from a different time. I don't know when this interview took place. I don't want to talk about necessarily the specifics as to whether or not it's true. I just want to talk about the possibilities of what could be done. Imagine like just like an updated art style game for the classics. I think that would be pretty cool. I mean, it would be cool to experience these games in a different light, almost in like removing the technological restrictions of what the games looked like back then and the technology available, and allowing to maybe have that original vision flourish of what the games could have looked like with the 3D environments. Maybe, I mean, hear me out. This would be crazy. I don't think they're gonna do this, but what if they did like you ever seen those SRB2 level custom levels that fans make, where it's like 3D recreations of the classic Sonic levels, or classic Sonic games rather. Like I've seen some of the Angel Island ones or whatever. So what if they did something like that? What if they made like a 3D recreation? Who would say no to that? I mean, listen, I'm all for throwing cool ideas at the wall and seeing what sticks. I know that in theory, some people would be against it. Like, oh no. Why would that would be awful. But why though? Why would it be awful to do that? We already have, I just got sent to the future. I hate going there. We already have, like, the games exist in 2D. We already have it. What else would you want from it other than, you know, maybe a more polished Origins version? That's never going to happen. So I think it'd be cool to see that. I would love to see more remakes that kind of reimagine what the game was really about. Like, I mean, you think of the Crash Bandicoot remakes. Like, I think those were cool. Sonic Adventure remakes, I'd definitely like to see get that treatment. So I want to know what you guys think. Would you want to get like a 2.5D, 3D hybrid CD remake? Like, is that something you'd even entertain? Given the fact that, you know, how widely available these games are, I just don't see what else they would do to make that like happen. I mean, I would just love to see it. I mean, look at some of the jumps you could pull off in this game. It's something that cannot be done in any other classic Sonic game. So that's why I've really been having a lot of fun with CD lately. It's been the game that I, you know, late night, I've just been playing CD. And I get lost in this game. I get totally immersed by it. And it's a 2D game. If you guys watch the channel, I hate exploring in 2D games. I feel like it's artificial and padded out. But for whatever reason, this game's level design makes it fun. It kind of builds around the exploration and kind of forces you to get creative with how you attack the level. It's so weird. I can't put my hand on it. I'm not, you know, a game designer or anything like that, but it's a beautiful game. And if there's more ways for people to get their eyes on it, I'd be for it. So let me know what you guys think of these rumors. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of the second channel as well.